I'm a conservative in America, and I'm watching CNN, just for the straight middle of the road. That's what I hear for 15 minutes, is it's great, and then Lonely Scott. It does look, I mean, and when you see the path, it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
It turns out the clash between Maher and Kaitlan Collins is far from over. This isn't just a disagreement, it's a full-on battle, and things are heating up like never before. These two media titans have been throwing jabs for weeks, and the tension is starting to explode on air, in interviews, and across social media. No one's backing down, and everyone's watching. Kaitlan isn't just reporting anymore. She's acting like she's on some moral crusade. She's not here to ask questions. She's here to fight Trump. And she makes it known in everything she does. She won't stop, won't pause, and she certainly won't give him a fair shot. If she has to twist the facts, play the innocent reporter, or act like she's the last honest journalist in America, she will. And she'll do it with a smile on her face. Think that sounds too harsh? Then you haven't seen the clip Maher was reacting to. When asked what she'd ask Vice President Kamala Harris if given the chance, Kaitlan somehow turned it into a Trump discussion.
The most pressing question, Kaitlan, you would ask VP Harris if you had the chance. Ooh.
I would have a lot of questions for her, but I do think I would ask about, where she stood when she was running as a candidate and for the 2020 Democratic primary and where she stands on a lot of issues now. She's criticized a lot by Republicans for reversing her positions. I think also, Donald Trump has reversed a lot of his positions from covering those. But I think I would be interested in her evolution and where her instincts are and what she learned from governing with a moderate like President Biden.
Again, she didn't mention Kamala's record. She didn't press on policy. Instead, she said she wanted to explore Kamala's evolution and how she's changed. And then, boom, in came Donald Trump. Josh'd say he as in trouble, she mumbled while comparing Harris's flip-flopping with Trump's own record. It was supposed to be a question about Harris, yet somehow Trump was once again front and center. Why does his name always show up in her answers? Because Trump isn't just a subject. He's Kaitlan's obsession. No matter what the topic is, she finds a way to drag him into it. Even if he's not involved, even if he's quiet, even if no one brought him up. And Maher? He saw it coming from miles away. He knew she was waiting for her chance to go in. He could practically see her reaching for the trigger the second Trump's name came up. She wasn't there for an honest discussion. She was there to build her narrative, to turn the moment into another anti-Trump rant. But this time, Maher was ready. He shut it down before it could even start. And Kaitlan did not like that. Her reaction was clear, tense, defensive, and visibly caught off guard. She wasn't expecting someone to call her out in real time. And the fallout didn't stop there. Soon after, the conversation shifted to the upcoming ABC debate. Kaitlan didn't hesitate. She jumped straight into speculation. I think Trump is nervous about it, she said, as if she was speaking for him. She claimed to have sources. She insisted he wasn't just hesitating, he was struggling. She even suggested he might pull out of the debate altogether. Not based on facts, not based on confirmed intel. Just pure speculation and wishful thinking. Why? Because in Kaitlan's world, Trump is always scared, always floundering, always one step away from collapse.
You guys have that debate?
It's ABC debate.
ABC debate.
If it happens, I still think it's an open question.
Really?
Trump's going to go. He's got to.
You think Trump is going to pull out?
I think Trump is nervous about it. I think I talked to a lot of sources in his world. I think he has really struggled with it. It's not just a narrative or a talking point from Democrats. He really has struggled with how to combat her. And I think going into that debate, he does not really want to do it. I think it's difficult, if not impossible, for him to pull out because his campaign manager had cards printed that said anywhere, anytime, any place for President Biden, and it would look weak, but I don't think he's looking forward to it at this point.
It's the same tired script, and she keeps reading from it like it's gospel. Never mind the fact that Trump's campaign already printed cards saying anywhere, anytime, any place for a debate with Biden. Never mind the fact that he's shown up before and won over audiences with nothing but his confidence and quick wit. Kaitlan ignored all of it, because she wasn't interested in the truth. She was writing a story, one where Trump looks weak, unprepared, and afraid. But Maher? He wasn't having it. He sat back and watched the spin machine go to work. He knew the pattern. Build up Biden, tear down Trump, and pretend it's journalism. And when Kaitlan started trying to write Trump out of the debate before it even happened, Maher was already 2 steps ahead, ready to call her bluff. Then came the guest commentary. One guest broke it down so simply it was impossible to ignore. This is an easy debate to win, they said. All Trump has to do is say, "You had 4 years. I had 4 years. Look at the results."
Here's the differences. Gas prices are up 50% when you're vice president. Electricity prices up 30%. Grocery up 22%. The list keeps going. Taxes were lower under Trump. They raised them under Biden and Harris. Regulations were lower under Trump. They raised them under Biden and Harris. Immigration numbers way down. They actually tried to stop the problem. Record numbers under Biden and Harris. This is a very easy debate to win because on the metrics, it's very easy to show side by side.
Okay,
but that's what his campaign wants him to say. But Donald Trump it's not a campaign where you just give him his talking points and he goes out there and delivers them. Yeah. I mean, Donald Trump is his own biggest impediment.
And they weren't wrong. Under Trump, gas prices were down. Groceries were cheaper. The border was more secure. Foreign policy was stronger. Taxes were lower. Regulations were reduced. That's not spin, that's reality. But Kaitlan couldn't accept that. She brushed it all aside. Instead, she turned the conversation into yet another forecast of doom. Trump is his own biggest obstacle, she warned. No data, no receipts. Just more talking points, recycled straight from the same media playbook that's been failing for years. It wasn't analysis, it was defense. She was setting the stage so that no matter what Trump did, she could claim he lost. If he skipped the debate, he was scared. If he won, he was just lucky. If he dominated, he got off topic. She had an excuse ready for every possible outcome because she needed to protect her narrative at all costs. And let's not pretend Kaitlan is alone in this. Her network, CNN, has been running the same script for years. They claim to be the middle, the neutral ground, the place where all sides can speak freely. But then you turn on the TV, and reality hits you in the face. When comedian Stephen Colbert joked about CNN just reporting the news, his live audience exploded in laughter. Kaitlan laughed too, awkwardly. She knew exactly what that moment meant. People aren't fooled anymore, not even their own viewers.
Because you were on Stephen Colbert's show, and he said something like, you guys at CNN just report the news straight. And the crowd burst into laughter. Look, I'm on CNN now. I guess we're on it right now. I mean, they show this show the next night. I don't know how we get away with it with all the fucks, but they do. And all these dirty jokes. But I'm glad, and I'm a big rooter for CNN. But that tells you a lot, doesn't it? I mean, how do you guys think you are doing in that arena of like, this is a terribly divided country. We're not only politicized, a lot of people just hate the other side. And CNN, in my view, should be the place where both sides can watch. How do you think you're doing?
Later, when pressed about how balanced CNN really is, Kaitlan offered the usual defense. We have lawmakers from both parties. Elizabeth Warren one night, Ted Cruz the next.
CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And I think, my show is evidence of that. We have lawmakers on from both parties. We'll have Elizabeth Warren on one night. We'll have Ted Cruz on.
And sure, that sounds balanced until you dig a little deeper. Because those appearances, they're just tokenism. A conservative here, a Republican there. Just enough to check a box and pretend it's fair. But when you look at the panel breakdowns, the interviews, the follow-ups, it's obvious. The ratio is completely lopsided. 4 liberal guests to 1 Republican? That's not a fair conversation. That's an ambush. And even when they bring on conservatives, it's never the firebrands or strong voices who actually represent the movement. It's always the same establishment names, the ones who agree with the left on every major issue, the ones who won't shake the table or challenge the host too hard. It's not balance, it's optics. Just enough opposition to pretend like both sides were heard, when in reality, the whole thing is choreographed to support the same narrative again and again. And that's why CNN's ratings have collapsed. Viewers are done. They've had enough of the fake debates, the controlled talking points, and the constant charade of fairness. It's not journalism, it's a show. A scripted performance where the outcome is decided before the first question is even asked. But Kaitlan? She keeps defending it. She insists CNN is credible, even as their own audience laughs in their face. She pointed to the Chicago convention as proof of their commitment to coverage.
CNN being a place of credibility. I mean, look at what just happened in Chicago. We had 300 people from CNN on the ground covering that convention. There were several reporters from just our team alone on the floor, bringing it in real time to people. And I think CNN puts resources behind things and just brings a level of news that you don't get anywhere else.
But let's get real. CNN wasn't there to report. They were there to hunt. They were waiting for one slip-up, one awkward moment, one mistake they could turn into a viral headline. That's what they do. Not report, but pounce. If a Trump ally stumbled over a word, that's breaking news. If someone paused mid-sentence, that's a scandal. If a protester shouted something from the back of the room, front-page coverage. And if they couldn't find anything, they'd spin something anyway. That's how the machine works. Meanwhile, when it's the Democrats' turn, suddenly CNN becomes a cheering section. No scrutiny, no tough questions, no real analysis, just glowing reviews and exaggerated praise. They treat every speech like it's historic, every policy proposal like it's revolutionary, and any scandal or slip-up buried, ignored, or reworded to sound harmless. So, no, Kaitlan. No one believes you were just covering the Republican convention. You were waiting to pounce, and everyone saw it. And just when you think it couldn't get any more obvious, Maher drops the final truth bomb. And Kaitlan didn't even flinch because she had no defense left. When he pointed out the bias, the fakery, the illusion of fairness, she couldn't argue, because everything he said was being proven in real time. Maher was watching it all unfold, like a chess master predicting every move before the piece even touched the board. Because he knows what this is. Not news, not conversation, not balance, but performance. And the actors, they're playing their roles perfectly.
Conservative in America, and I'm watching CNN, just for the straight middle of the road. That's what I hear for 15 minutes, is it's great, and then Lonely Scott. It does look, I mean, and when you see the path, it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View. It's like it's almost better to have nobody there, like MSNBC, than to have this.
Kaitlan kept pushing the same tired line, that CNN invites both sides, that the network stands for balance. But no one believes that anymore. A single conservative guest tossed into a sea of like-minded panelists doesn't make it fair. It just makes it obvious. Viewers aren't falling for the act. The interruptions, the rehearsed outrage, the hand-picked opposition that agrees with the left 90% of the time, it's not journalism, it's scripted theater. And when real voices try to cut through, they're muted, edited, or buried under a wave of smug commentary. The audience is waking up. Ratings are crumbling. The illusion is cracking. And Maher? He didn't just expose Kaitlan. He exposed the entire network's strategy. Control the narrative, shape the outrage, and silence anything that doesn't fit. And here's the part no one in media wants to say out loud. CNN isn't losing because people hate the news. It's losing because people finally see it's not news at all. It's a reality show dressed in headlines. A talk show pretending to be truth. The only question left is, how long can they keep up the act before the lights go out for good? Because once people realize the game is rigged, they stop playing. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, so hit that like button and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and please make sure to check out these other videos you might like. See you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.